Sylvain, bottom. Good evening, folks. Welcome to another edition of the Real Talk Show in beautiful Large Bank Village. We're in Studio J. I'm joined tonight by my temporary co-host, Sir Stephen Bissett.
Good night, P.
And to my far left is my partner in crime, always behind us in cycling. He's a you know, not a basketball, but he got the cycling knowledge kind of you don't cycle people. That is Mr. Joseph Jones.
Salute.
Good night, everybody.
It's,
Good night.
Because start to say, get rid of race. Because we got a cross country thing for talk about. We can get rid of guns race, 198th edition of that race for 190th edition. It was AB race. First race was Most Gladden. Second was Brandon Catoos. Third, Dwayne Wade. Fourth, Skiddy Vernon. Fifth, Steven Sylvester. Sixth, Alban Gillett. Seventh, Warren Cowie. He was the first B. Eighth was what's the name? Wait, name?
Philip Leslie.
No, Philip. Next is Leslie.
Cable Boy.
No, Leslie from Akos.
Oh, Charles. Charles Leslie Jr.
Was 8th. 9th was Sean Garden, and among the top 10 was Wendell Williams.
Junior.
Huh?
Wendell Williams
Junior, yeah. And then the first B I said was Warren Cowie. Second B was myself, Richard Joseph, in 13th place. And then the third B was 14th place, Quevel Young was the third B. That's on the top.
Peter's a AB race, you said?
AB. I mean,
And then
members.
I see the top, like 2 or 3 riders are riders that will ride in the big dance, definitely.
Brandon, not the video now, right?
Smokes Gladden will ride. Brandon Catoos will ride.
That's right.
Okay, the first and second place.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's what's called on in 2, was that right? No, why? When they will have Junior ride. That's about it.
I think we won't ride this.
Phil Zombo, I get it too. Phil Zombo, right?
I would think so. I mean, if he's anything like his father, because it wouldn't surprise me to see his father ride too.
Huh?
No, yeah, man.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone. Philip Butler will ride. I wouldn't be surprised. He usually throws his hat in there.
I'm surprised that D-Wade won't ride.
Yeah, right.
I think D-Wade has said that he has retired from elite racing and he will do club racing.
So that's a good move, D-Wade, man. So that the Guns 198th this Thursday brings on the Guns Open race. I don't know if you can get that a local, because no man feel get hurt sometime and they come out. So
then you got some man who want to open their legs too.
The last time, because I think they did open their legs before cross country.
I think
last time.
a couple of out. So it's gonna be the 191.
Thursday.
Come Thursday here, Guns 191 open Thursday race. Bissett, Joe, you all got a peep. So a peep, not a peep, but a peep, so peep on the Puma women's cross country.
The 34th edition of the women's cross country. Yeah. It was a nice race, P.
Okay.
They had 10 riders sign up, 9 started, and it was quite Jocelyn for station prizes.
Yeah, I said enough respect to the young junior cyclist who won last year, last week, champion, and then he ride the elite race and he come second. Enough respect to her, all right? Irene Baki.
So first place was Miss Jade Stevens. She's from California. She's a master's rider right out of a Major Motion Racing Club. And was first. Second was Miss Irene Baki, who is the junior
that Mr. Jones was talking about.
Third was Fantine Gigley. She's an elite from Team Level. Fourth was Leanne Toto. She's also a
youth. She's a youth.
She won the youth last week. She won the youth.
Yes.
She won the youth. She was fourth. They rode well. Fifth was Gabrielle Lovell. I think she must be elite. But Gabriel must be
Yeah, Gabrielle is elite. And you know, I found something about Gabrielle, and I have to give her a big kudos. I didn't realize that she's a diabetic and she's
Wow.
on insulin
Oh,
and stuff like that. So
That's-
well done, Gabrielle.
Kudos.
To ride that
never know.
journey, you know.
So Leanne rides for trail treats. Gabriel rides for Lovell Cycling. Gigley is Lovell Cycling. Aaron Bucky is Williams Racing Development. And I said Jane Stevens is from Major Motion. Sixth place was Chelsea Gillett. She rides for Imani Cycling Team. She might be a you too.
Yeah, she is.
That leads to Mano.
She is, I'll tell you right, yeah.
Yeah.
Chelsea is
No.
Chelsea Gillett is a youth.
Junior.
Okay,
She's a junior. So she's a little older.
and then Selena Balderas, who she by?
Serena
who's
is,
that?
I think is,
Diary? From the girl in yellow.
yes.
Okay, good. Okay, Balderas. Then Natalie Lovell. No, Natalie Lovell too?
Yes, that's the wife of Giovanni Lovell.
Oh,
She
Natalie.
just making a comeback.
Okay. Okay, so
she was out.
okay,
giving
but
birth
make a little quickly say. So it's OTL that the girl
out at the time limit.
Selena was out at the time, and Natalie, Norma, and Gina. Well, Gina didn't start.
She didn't
They
start.
start, and the two didn't finish. So
Natalie and Norma.
Norma didn't finish the race, and so looking at the race, it was a bit. It was a bit competitive at the start. The mega whole block boat, then Chance Leon Gallon they ride the race, but I never said it like that.
I when it comes to that, I think we have to start to look at things. The first thing we have to look at, we give credit to the federation. This is the first year that they had a youth and junior women's cross country.
Yeah, enough respect to that.
So
Yeah,
that's the
they're
first
not
thing. So that's a development motion.
That's last week, right?
That was the week before, right?
Okay.
And that was won by Miss Irene Bucky riding for Williams Development.
And the youth was Soto.
Well, was the young
Leanne.
lady Chote, Leanne
Leanne.
Choto, right?
Mhm.
So we have to give those kudos. And those two girls and the other guy, the other young lady, Chelsea, came and they chose to ride the elite. And people, we have to understand, right? That before last year, if those girls were riding last year, they would have had no other choice but to ride the elite. This year,
Yeah, kanina ganun.
they never had nothing for them. So we have to look at when we are moving forward. We are moving
When we move forward, we have acknowledge.
Right. And like we said, the girls requested that they wanted to ride. Nobody was forcing them to ride. Their coach, their manager, or their parents, or whoever is in charge of them could have told them sit it out or ride it. They chose to ride and they rode well. All three of them rode very well in my eyes. And especially the young lady that came second, Miss Irene Bucky. And
After this, they come second, fourth,
sixth.
sixth.
Yes, so they rode well. The three girls, the three young girls rode well.
Okay.
And everybody that participated rode well.
I think so too.
So we have to give credit where credit is due.
I fully agree with you, mi amigo, because we have to give that credit to the Cycling Federation for start this development in terms of the youth. So next year we will have a same race for the youths, and then they could move to elite. So once you have a development, then we know they could move to the next level. Without having a youth cross country, then you're just an elite, then it would be unfair. But it's a good development. So respect, have to give credit.
Definitely. So we have to say congratulations to Miss Jane Stevens.
That is very
And I think,
Right over California, we said.
yes, out of California, she's a two-time state champion, Masters
Masters
state champion. So congratulations to her. And from my gathering, Miss Stevens looked up and heard about the race and looked into the race and came on her own fruition to believe to ride the race. And I want to give kudos because I think that's what we need, P. We need people to want to come and ride our races. Not nobody bringing nobody. We want them to come and pay their way, come here, and whatever they earn is rightfully theirs and they can take home with them.
that is very
So kudos to Miss Jade Stevens and kudos to the sponsor,
Yeah.
which is Puma, and to Miss Solis, Miss Arguez, I should say, for the garland as usual
Okay.
and everything. So I mean, we have to look at it. Yes, it wasn't a big field, but we're working and we see development coming along, and those youngsters that's coming along are showing some very good signs.
34-year running is good. We're getting there, pal.
30?
34.
34.
This was the
34 running of the
34.
women's class.
No, I'll make a comment because I follow them. I don't watch the race every time, but I just follow them stats after races. And Fantine Gigley, Parkway Classic,
She was dominant.
she was dominant. So I was surprised. Irene Bakay is growing, no doubt. But I don't think Irene Bakay was 70 minutes better Gigley. Something Gigley for their plan. But people will stop with it, and then they were chasing each other. She will chase a teammate,
His sister.
his sister-in-law. His
No,
sister-in-law.
this is her sister. Natalie is her sister.
No, but that Gabriel will chase that.
Oh, they were chasing Gabriel.
Yeah, but that teammate. So they were chasing each other out of. I don't know why. They made the same error as the young boys made. They chase up each other. The Guatemalan they just wait for Punk's money.
And
So
just
then
come
we
off of one of
do the
theirs.
same thing, and next they
Got the same result.
Jade did the same thing to them. So they are losing business, but then they lose because of lack of effort or lack of ability. I think they're losing because they're not doing the right thing.
Tactical.
The
More tactical.
Tactics are
Why we keep doing
bad.
things like that, though?
Well, and this is something that we always talk about, P, that what happens is a lot of our cyclists, we just ride the races and we don't talk and we don't discuss scenarios. Sometimes, like I always say, sometimes you have to go to a classroom to not only out there, you have to like talk. I mean, because it's not all the scenarios will come to you in a race. So, if you discuss it and say like, hey, listen, if such and such a scenario comes up, this is the way you should play, and so on. You know,
The young boys and maybe young girls too, for say, but the young boys are energetic. We said in a race, they go jump out. To be honest, they got any plan. They do things out of how they feel. I feel good, boom, they gone. And so the females maybe they ride the same way so that there's not somebody. Jade showed them that she's older and she's state
More
champion,
mature
more
and-
mature, and so she just looked on, baited them, and boom.
Yeah.
And so the young girls, to me, I think they need, because this is on the next thing when they ride and someone they tell her what for do.
yeah, you can't always have somebody. That's why I say we need to go into the classroom and just
Yeah.
look at stuff and discuss it like that,
Yeah.
right? You know, because if you have somebody telling you, hey, attack at mile 2 and mile this and then what happens is when you don't have that communication, especially like, we don't have utilize radios
Radio.
here, it's harder, right? You want them to think the race, but you also want them to be kept to understand the scenarios as they present
So I
themselves.
think it was wise for the young lady Irene Bakay, while she was with the master champion, the state master champion, to pay. She was out there.
Yes, but see, and this is where it comes again, like we were saying. She needs to ride. You can't just go and sit on her. But you need to ride, but you need to know yourself and know, okay, if she's giving me, just using a number, 90 miles an hour, I need to at best, and it's not really suggested to match the 19, not to try and do more than she's doing, right? So
Because
you have
you-
to know how to play.
The race on average 70.5, so they couldn't be going
Well,
hard.
that's, I understand.
I was using a number.
I was just using a number.
Yeah,
but,
but
he's saying that the
they-
actual average.
I'm told, but I know true it is. I'm told that they got from that tell back, stop pace, but he's not a bad.
no.
Shut it down, stop
See,
pace. I think I didn't. That she got mad.
All right.
The master shop.
And he was saying about classroom, and when after a race and people look at the race, they always say,
Yeah.
why was she?
Yeah,
The
pace wasn't that bad, but you are pace less than she.
Yes.
Minimize it.
She's
You have to know how to
she's
work
more
it.
qualified than you. So yeah, but the Elise are from the same thing next week too. This week, right? Yeah, they can't. come and show up on the match they final.
You have to know how to utilize your pacing, because you can't go in the front neither. And if he doing, like I said, just using numbers, if he doing 20, you can't come in front of him and go and pace 17 because he gonna attack you too.
Yeah,
So you need to realize, okay, he giving me 20, and that 20 to hurt me. When I go on the front, I gonna give him
18,
19,
yeah.
18, whatever, so that I can be recovering. So when he gonna give me the 20, I'm not done dead. So but these are scenarios that has to be classroom stuff. So that's it.
Yeah, so they were a great race, and so the juniors finished in cross country, the women's finished in cross country, the juniors and the youth, male and female finished in cross country, and now
It's the big dance.
the big dance this Saturday, the 95th running of the whole Saturday.
Saturday cross country
So
cycling classic.
running, because we missed 3.
Yes.
We missed 2 in a COVID and a hurricane.
Yeah.
But before you talk about the big dance, I have a question concerning the big dance.
If you want, can I go ahead and ask my
Sure,
question,
yes,
boss?
sure.
Yeah, what happened is we are talking. You says 95th running of the Holy Saturday, the big dance,
Right.
and you're talking about 95 years of having a race of this magnitude, but yet we are in the baby stage and we take just 6 days or less than 6 days to have riders register for the race. So you want to add pan that, take away from that?
Definitely, I think when it comes to the preparation for this race, every year we end up with the same scenario where we're arguing about who coming and who can't come and stuff. And I keep saying, and I've been saying this, and I think Palace will agree with me, but I let him say his piece, that when it comes in Belize, basically our racing calendar usually ends at September. The September criterium is basically our last event on the calendar, and then we don't start up back again until the Creme Classic, the 1st of January.
That is correct.
So I call that from September to January our off season. And to me, that is when whoever, I'm not pinpointing one because it's been going on for years and years, the federation, whoever is the federation, needs to do their groundwork. For example, by before January, we need to know all the committees. We need to know who is the disciplinary committee, who is the appeals committee, who is the vetting committee if they are having a vetting committee. We need to know the criteria to ride cross country or any other event and stuff like that, right? So these are the groundworks that's not being done, and that ends up with come race day, with the quarrel and with the argue and with the pint pan that one and pint pan this one, and that has to stop.
Yeah, it's difficult to try make correction if you do not have a list before Holy Thursday, and if you decide to bring a list within this whole week, then you're right. It definitely needs to stop. I does not see the wisdom in it to a race being 95 years, going for 95 years old, and then less than a week you do not have the names of all the riders.
How much riders make you approve, is it?
Well, I saw a list that you sent to me, and I think it was 20 or 25 riders names.
Okay, 21.
But that list is only who has been approved. We don't know who will show, right? And this is my thing.
How is this? What about? How is quota? So riders give back some letter. We say that they can't come and don't reach a quota. What's the quota?
Well, this is the thing, right? Because you have two things. You have the criteria and you have the quota, because they're going by a quota. So they're saying that they have some percentage. I don't know the percentage.
You don't know no more.
I don't know the number. And my point being is this: how do they come to that percentage? Based on the amount of registered local riders, or based on a number that we're saying we can't have more than X to ride on the race? Remember, this is where last 2 weeks ago when we were here, we were talking about that the best way would be for between the police, the ambulance, the federation, and so on, to sit down and say we can have a race with, I just using numbers again, 150 riders safely that we can control, have a good race.
I reckon
And then-
141, 135, 136.
Right? And this is the thing. So if they can say we can't take more than 150 and we're going to, and they're putting in a quota at 25%, then they figure out that number and then that's your quota. But there's nowhere that any of us can find that out. And this is what I'm saying to you, that to me,
Is that clear?
it's not clear that you know that I went to a meeting last week.
Oh,
and that's
quickly, I must have started that and say, but like those on that meeting about that you
I went to a meeting last week and I got to the meeting.
What do you mean
and-
about?
And
Oh,
this
yeah,
is the
tell me.
thing. When I get to the meeting, I was informed that the meeting was a postmortem of the junior cross-country cycling classic,
Hello?
right? And I said to them afterwards, I said, listen, I shouldn't be in this meeting because I played no part in that race. I was not involved in it in any way.
Mhm.
So I shouldn't be there. However, knowing me and my big mouth, I wanted to try and assist as best as possible. I sat in the meeting and I'm not pulling no punches, folks.
Don't pull.
The meeting was to start they told me 6. Then when I got there at 6, I met one person there and that person told me they told her 6:30. The meeting didn't start till 7. The person that was supposed to be chairing the meeting didn't show up till 8. I understand this is volunteer work. However, we have to be more professional than this, man. Right? We have to show up if we're going to show up, and if you're going to be late, and you are, especially if you're the controller, you have to assign somebody else to run the meeting. And then we were arguing, and I asked one point, I said, do we have a copy of our constitution or a copy of the rule book?
It's not
Nobody
trouble.
have that.
It's not trouble.
And this is where I have problems. Like I said, in between, in our season, we have a website for the federation. On the website, I am supposed to be able to go and click on our website and pull up the constitution, pull up the rules that we are governed by, pull up the criteria for registering foreign riders or whatever, and not only for me, for anybody. And these are the works that we need to get done. And I keep saying this, that we need to realize that yes, it's voluntarily and we can't burn out everybody, but we have to utilize what we have. Fitzgerald, and Mr. Joe, we have university and high school students that are learning to work on computers and data entry and stuff.
Yeah,
we have to
help.
utilize them to help. And these are some of the things that we have to work on.
We have taken too long with it, as we discussed last week. We have taken too long to have a database where you can pull up the name of Fitzgerald Joseph.
And tell you
And
when
we
you
tell
rode
Fitzgerald
and
when
your
you
age
rode.
and everything.
He was 6 in 1991. He was 30 in 88, and so we got like I said, we got a lot of people in a school where we could ask maybe for the help, people that are database entry clerk and so forth, studying, who can help us and maybe just draft it. Can be said when you put in a name, they said I start putting name, you just find a place. Basically you're gonna put that name.
But this is what I'm saying, Palastar. We can utilize them and they will utilizing us, because you go to the university or high school, whoever is doing that, teaching that, and they can have their students work on it.
But lad me not comment to me last week too. Lad said that time for we stop the run CFB like our game. Maybe we'll start running
Like a business. It is.
And then that way you have start give people one stipend. So that people can get up and understand that
No freelance.
I have the hotel.
Yeah, you have to run it as a business. Just before I give you the mic, my amigo, we need definitely to do better, because we're talking the whole week and you guys are in this for long and we do not have a list of the names the total amount, the quota. And so adjustment need to be made.
Folks, quickly, if you have a question you'd like to ask, you can send that text message to my phone at 601-2039, WhatsApp preferable, so that I can look at it and read it if there is any.
Repeat that number again.
601-2039.
601-2039.
If you haven't missed any pertinent question you want to ask us.
But also, P, what I was saying too with the whole setup, we need to be able to access all of these things, and we need to utilize what we can. As you said, we have to run it like a business. Yes, we don't have financing to run a business, but we do. Even though people are volunteering, they do get a certain stipend, you know.
I didn't know I don't fully free though.
You know what I mean? But my point, and this is my point,
Does
that
not take that to register.
no, but we're saying that everybody falls back and say, "Well, this is a voluntary." What I'm saying is, we do give a stipend for mileage and
But
food.
you guys,
But my point that I was going to make is that even with that little stipend, even though it's not much, I personally think that we should hold people accountable instead of giving out the full stipend. If I tell, using Palace as an example, Palace will utilize you for your cycle and will give you whatever it is, but I need you for be the last cycle in the thing. I can't come and finish and Palace don't let a finish and a man still there out the road. See? So my thing is, the entire Palace don't get money and thing. My thing is, I want to give you half first and I'll give you half when the event done if you did your job.
You're committed.
Yes, so that you take on your responsibility thing. Because a lot of us just take on the responsibility to go watch race, you know.
That is correct.
Because when you look, when finish the car, boy, the amount of motorcycle man when you see pass in an official jersey, I think you say, bro, that one whole crowd the car, and one man the car, but a whole pile of a motorcycle, that can't be right. So there are the lead things that we have to start to get better at for 95 years of running of.
Yeah, 95, and we do the same thing. And on some Palace, give some more commentary, some feedback. Why after over 94 years we still can't have the name registered from early, especially for cross country, so we could know exactly how much we lease on, at least.
They have too.
Yeah.
You tell no?
Yeah.
It's your clear, yeah.
My thing that I keep saying too is like this, right? We also have to start looking at not only the federation too. We have to look at John Public too.
That is correct.
Because I want to thank everybody that gives to the cross country. Because you have people that give carrot cake, one person only could afford $5, or somewhere could afford thousands of dollars. We have to thank each and every one of them. However, but we have to get to the point where we have a cutoff date.
That's what.
And when I say a cutoff date, if your prize, whatever is your prize, is not turned into the federation before the race, we can't put out that you to get on because
before you saw me, so you come up with eating.
no, I just said we are having cutoff date before the race.
Oh, but you said before the race, the prize also.
In the federation hand because what is happening, we have had every year you hear somebody come and say, boy, I win a prize that mile 20 something. And when I got on the federation say, yeah, you did pass the line first, we got you down. But the person will give that prize, not only in the money and this and that can't happen for you. So we only put the line when we done that, when we got it in our hand. You know that, like what I always used to say in the old days? When I tell you the color of the house, I got it here in my hand. That's it.
Because some people like go and they like the full federation.
Yes.
After you know, somebody go good Friday night and say, what's that? I live on my 27 I put 200 there. That's my house. My house. Who thank you saying that the price is there as well.
So there's a lot of correction that
Yes.
need to be
Small things that we have to set up to make the thing run smoother. That's not like we to try beat down nobody. We just to try say we know it's a lot of work, but we need to prepare way in advance and have all of these things put out
So
Early.
what are the criteria for be accepted as a foreigner?
To my knowledge, nothing. Because I can't find it nowhere.
The last time I checked,
They asked me about
They says-
Continental Pro something.
no, the last time I checked Palace and I talked to people that was a part of the federation, they explained once in a cut 1, 2, or 3 you could except pro, you are allowed to. Yeah, that the last. That's what I understand. Like when you guys said there's no but you know see
No black and white.
Go what?
Because
At the last time I checked, I'm
No
saying
pro.
to you,
no bro.
they say
Go pro.
they say cut by last state cut 1, 2, or 3 except pro.
The bylaws.
But the laws are the
Go.
policy on
They must got they must got
They
policy.
have to have a criteria.
No, but they got policy or right that right that one.
Because
cut 1, 2, and 3
Yeah.
to come any
No, but I'm telling you, they got for policy or right that because a lot of pro come and be so they have to have
Well, I'm just saying the last time I
no, and this is
and I
what I'm
talked to
saying.
somebody that knowledgeable. They
But
saying
unless you are
every-
talking that the policy says cut 1, 2, and 3, and there's got out of the policy and everybody start.
But then say no, I'm the devil's advocate here. So let's utilize what y'all are saying. Then say 1, 2, and 3. First thing I want to say, but Mexico don't have no category.
yeah.
So how you determine that the Mexican rider?
And this is what we're saying.
And
Everything needs to be
definitely.
corrected. Adjustment need to be made.
And made way in advance,
Made way in advance.
and need to be put out that everybody understands what they are doing.
But
And you know,
but then second abilities, no.
we like quarreling.
There is to be concerned, but
Only before, yes.
But when they do it, you can do me a better child for we that.
But-
we don't know who is invited, but what category.
So in a year time, you guys don't know with what?
We
before?
long time we got 1, 2,
But
1,
this
2
is
things.
my point. That's why I start the whole question.
Went backward.
Why we're going into the whole week less than I don't know for less than
They 25
days.
They 25 years where
and
panelists
we
say
do not know who
no
it
one
is.
can represent
No,
them.
nobody know who to then show. Nobody. These
Why
guys
is the
are
life already
capable.
started?
I think
They have the
Thursday.
life already
I think it's Thursday that because they have
this is what I'm saying. We are saying Thursday is the line that you should have cut off long before that.
My point that I keep making and I am saying is the federation has to, whatever is their criteria, they have to put it in black and white
Everybody
and
see
stand up by it. If they wake up today and say, you know what, the criteria for ride cross country and be for any international rider, right?
That's what
Well, no. Listen to it now. If they get up and say, if you make an international rider come to Belize can race, all you have to have the 1 foot. Right?
Yeah.
Well, then we can't vex with them, look at that day we